And we're back for another episode. In this episode, we're going to be unlocking Astrologian, one of the new classes or jobs that's been added into the expansion Heavensward. And as always, hello from Mithrie. So, to do that, you need to come to the Athenium Astrologicum in the Pillars, which is in Ishgard. And to get to Ishgard, you need to have done at least the first couple of quests for the 3.0 main scenario. So anyway, let's talk to Jannequinard and let's do the quest. So it says, greetings and welcome to the Athenium Astrologicum. Might I ask what drew you here to this place of learning? Let's see. It was a fate. I am not sure. Oh, sorry, it was fate. Let's say it was fate. You could not be more correct. For in the stars are written the fates of every woman and man on Hydaelyn. And it was there in the stars that I read a woman would call upon the Athenium this very day. A woman who would play an important role in my own life. But my apologies. Even the most skilled reader cannot scry a name from the heavens. Would you be so kind as to give me yours, so I might know who is my newest protege? So give Janklin your name and become his protege? Yes. So Mithrie, well, I was not expecting that, but what is a name but an attempt by our begetters to wield power over the lives of their sons and daughters, lives whose paths have already been foretold, in a sense that is. My name is Jannequinard de Jannequinard, and I am an astrologian for the Holy See, or Astrologian. Remember that name, for it shall echo forevermore in the annals of Ishgardian history. Well, it will once I put it there. Once we put it there. Okay, so let's continue. So the quest is called Stairway to the Heavens. And we'll get all of the stuff we need, our first star globe and a couple of items for level 30. And it says, Jannequinard of the Athenium Astricum simply cannot take his eyes off you. So now, where to begin? I suppose I could consult my divining deck for an answer, but that would be too easy now, wouldn't it? Very well, at the beginning it is. Astrology, or the reading of the stars, is a branch of astrological science which originated in distant Sharlayan. There have been astrologians in Ishgard for thousands of years, but it wasn't until 3 centuries ago when Adilinel the Younger learned the movement of the stars could also be used to foresee the movements of the Dravenian horde that the field became popular. Since then, what was once a single science has bifurcated into 2 similar yet ultimately different schools of learning, the Sharlayan school of astrology and the Ishgardian school, the former placing a focus on tapping celestial aether and transforming it into beneficial magics, or astromancy, the latter specializing solely in determining the actions of our dragon enemies to the north. I am a student of the former, the only student of the former here in Ishgard, and have been actively seeking a partner with whom to conduct my research. Let us just say that my fellow astrologians here have been, well, less than approving of my path, but that is simply because they are afraid of what they do not know. Once they do know how Sharlayan astrology can benefit the sea and its soldiers, they will feel foolish for ever having doubted us. You will be joining me, will you not? Walking the path that has been laid out before you, instead of stubbornly denying your fate, postponing the inevitable? Of course. So I see you wasted no time in making your decision. Like I always say, the stars are never wrong. Alas, even a lifetime of study and training cannot unlock all of the secrets written in those stars. Myself, I have been a student of the astromantic arts for more than 30 summers, and I will often misread the signs shown to me in the skies, though my readings are far more accurate now than they were when I attended the Athenaeum in Charlian. Not the Charlian, mind you, the colony that once thrived in the Dravanian hinterlands. I can recall by my time there like it was but yesterday. The first 6 moons, I was never even allowed to touch the deck of the 60, let alone conduct a reading with the major arcana. Most of the time was spent in the scriptorium, transcribing old tombs on astrological fundamentals such as the 6 elemental houses, divine duplicity, class triplicity, house modernality and polarity, dignity versus detriment. I abhorred the task and would tirelessly pester my instructors as to when I might actually be granted the opportunity to weave a spell or perform a reading. It wasn't until the end of the 6th moon that I realized all the transcribing that prepared me with the essentials I would need to do those very things. The position of celestial bodies within the 6 elemental houses and their relation to the major and minor arcana of the deck of 60, therein lie the secrets to tapping the ethereal power locked in the heavens. And soon you too will become privy to those secrets. But not this day, no. I will not have you transcribe musty old tomes like I was once forced to do. No, the task I have for you is much more interesting. You see, I am expecting the arrival of a very important guest. My old mentor from the Studium has agreed to make the journey from the old ward to Ishgard and speak with the Holy See regarding the implementation of Charlian astrological techniques in the city-state defense. Alas, the professor and his party are now fully 7 days late in arriving, and I have begun to worry for their safety. I should be much obliged, therefore, if you would inquire of the other astrologians here in the Ethereum if they have heard aught. Okay, so let's talk to the other ones. So let's talk now to Harriet. So why would Lord Jacqueline think I had information on the whereabouts of a handful of unbelievers from across blood-brine sea? I am an astrologian, not a fortune teller. I cannot simply look to the stars and scry the location of the Viscount's guest, unless his guests are dragons, that is. I suppose if anyone here knew aught, it would be the observatorium. We here at the Athenian are but students dedicated to research. Those with any influence in our field are assigned to the astroscope. Cool. Let's talk to the next person. We're talking now to Maguninil. So let me guess. The good Lord Jannequinard said he saw you in a vision and that the stars told him you were to study Charlian astrology with him. Am I close? You must be the 100th of his little pets to pester me this week alone. I harbour no ill will towards ignorant unbelievers unlucky enough to find themselves caught up in talk of stars and fortunes, but you may tell that sorry excuse for an astrologian for the upteenth time that I have heard naught concerning his imaginary friends from faraway Charlian. Just do not tell the Viscount I called him a sorry excuse for an astrologian, alright? Okay, so let's now find the third person. I'm assuming it's upstairs. And I am wrong. Let's go outside. So the third one is actually outside. So Jannequinard's still awaiting for word on his missing Charlians instead of actually making an effort to find them, is he? Of course he is. It is any wonder that in the nearly 20 years since his return from Sharlayan, his skill in astromancy has remained unchanged. Any wonder that he has never yet managed to convince a single peer of value of the Sharlayan school. He is a privileged little sprat who spends more time gazing at the stars in young maiden eyes and actually trying to read the ones above his head. Alright, you tell the poor man I just returned from the observatorium, and one night at the communal festing hall happened to overhear Chief Astrologian's Format speaking with one of his aides regarding Sharlayan. He was visibly upset, and I wasn't able to risk my career over something I care little about. So I merely put my head down and ate my beet soup. And that is all I know. And you didn't hear it from me. Cool. So let's talk to him again. So, Master Foreman. And I thought this day could not get any worse. No. I'm not suggesting that meeting you in any way has been unfortunate. It is just that it may not be in our best interest to be seen together as of yet. There are certain people in the sea who do not approve of my studies. Couple that with the fact that you are an outsider and an unbeliever, and well, people may come to the wrong conclusion. We must act with caution until we can prove that our intentions are just and for the good of all Ishgard. So I must ask that you travel to the observatorium alone and meet me there. Okay, so we need to go to the observatorium, which we did a million times before when we were doing leave quests. So let's go straight to Camp Dragonhead. Then we have to run south to the observatorium. So for now, I'm just doing the sort of little things, getting them out of the way, so I can have all the classes unlocked, just so I don't have to go back to unlock them later, you know. And then I'm predicting it'll take me probably about 3 months, 4 months, and then eventually you will see this and everything will say 60. So I have got a lot of Final Fantasy XIV to do for the next few months. And as well, I'm hoping in the next 3 or 4 months as well that I'll be able to buy a new PC as well. Just to make converting videos quicker, to make the quality of the recordings better, so I can use the DirectX 11 client and so on and so on. And I will be doing pretty much, well, I'm going to be doing all of my live streams from now on YouTube. Right here on youtube.com/Mithrie. So if you happen to see me and I'm not responding to chat or whatever, it usually just means that I am doing a live episode, and that episode will be uploaded. And then when I'm between episodes, then I do chat to everyone. So anyway, let's go up here. So I'm assuming that we're going to have to probably do the Astrologian quests from the observatorium at a later date. At least until 50. And then we'll probably have to go back a level 50 plus to the person who started us on the quest to do the 50 to 60 quest. I mean, that's my guess. So we'll find out in due time. So here is Jannequinard. So, Mithrie, allow me to apologize again for not accompanying you here. As for our business with Cheap Astrologian, you may leave the talking to me. Jannequinard, I might have known it would be you. Who else would be so indecent as to drag an outsider into this holy place of observation? You have always had an unhealthy obsession with the foreign. 'Tis why you are as worthless to the Athenaeum now as you were when you returned from the heathen city nearly 20 summers since. But the stars, they can serve us in other ways than merely revealing when the Horde will attack. Their powers can be tapped. The Aether within can be used for The Aether should be left be. Has history taught you naught about the Folly, the Nimians, the Amdapori, the Mashi? Mine uncle, the Charlayans, have been wielding astromancy for ages without disrupting ethereal balance. This power, combined with Ishgardian astrology, could be what is needed to turn the tide for this 1,000-year conflict. Moreover, I have reason to believe that our masters at the Vault agree, as they have given me their blessing to continue my research. I did not come to trade barbs with you, uncle. Let us save that for another time. I am here because it has come to my attention that you may have information as to the whereabouts of Professor Mace and his party from Charlayan. For someone who says he is not here to trade barbs, you have been quite generous in your dealings with them today. If it means you will leave and allow me to return to my work, then I'd be more than happy to let you know what information found its way to my desk just yesterday morn. Serpent Reaver sightings and foul weather prevented the professor's ship from entering the Strait of Melfor, where they would have made up to the Maiden into Corfus. After detouring around the south of Valbrand, they have finally disembarked at Vesper Bay, where they would land the route along the Allegan Royal Sun Road to the Black Shroud. It is there, it seems, that they have lost their way. A lost Astrologian. It is as my morning reading predicted. Dalamud was in detriment in the house of Spire while ascending over the elliptic. Mithrie, you must journey to the Black Shroud and assist Professor Mace. Allow me to introduce you to Quimperan. He is my personal manservant and shall accompany you. He is not for conversation, but is a sworn arm against the best in all the pillars. He should see you safe in any danger were you to befall, and something tells me danger lurks on the horizon. It is a pleasure to serve you, milady. I shall make haste to Quarry Mill and await you there. So unlocking Dark Knight was a lot shorter than the other two quests in comparison. So anyway, let's go straight to Quarry Mill. Having those tabs for the different regions is actually really, really useful. Okay, so here is Quimprian. So, milady, I have questioned the residents of this hamlet and learned that a party of queerly dressed outsiders passed through not but a bell ago. It should not prove over difficult to find them now, but before we begin, might I ask a moment of your time? I would not dare utter aught ill of my master, but his recent fixation with finding a protege, I believe it ill-considered. This passion, however pure, has left him with more than one enemy within the astrological community. Lord Formont has seen to this. I fear not only for how his name might be sullied, but for his life. I beg of you, pray do not drag him any further down into this quagmire. Let him quietly dabble in the dream, and let it remain at that. A dream no good will come of encouraging him. It will only hurt the Viscount and his family. You must remember that while I serve Lord Jannequinard, it is his father, the Count, who employs me. Now, as for the task at hand, I suggest we find the wayward travellers and hurry back to our respective hearths. I shall lead. Might I ask that you take the rear and see that none take us unawares? Cool. So, hello, Honey Jade. Hello, hello. Good friend of mine, as she was in a lot of my previous episodes, which some of you will probably know. So, anyway, let's continue. Ah. So, these are the Sharlayans we seek, and it appears they have found themselves some trouble. Unhand my grandfather. Ah, feisty. We'll fetch a fine price for that one from the pleasure barg captains. The soul has spoken. Grab the old man. These wizard types carry on them all manner of begemmed baubles and golden trinkets. Up, or I'll toss you to the snakes. You want to see the old man again? You leave us the girl. Try anything and he's dead. Wait. So grandfather's soul crystal. Why would he leave it here, surrendering any power he might have had to free himself from those bandits? Unless you were the one he saw in his reading before we left the old city. But that was more than a moon ago. My grandfather scried from the cards that he would serve as a bridge for countless souls to be passed to another. Might you be the other? These men of the forest are careless. Tracking them will be no difficult feat. I shall follow and strike before they have time to regroup in numbers. The stars have spoken and laid their path, not before you, but before the adventurer here. That's a really awesome outfit, I've got to say. You must take the soul of the Astrologian and place it near your heart. Listen to the tales of those who have walked before you and know their journeys as you do your own. So as for the tools you require and the knowledge needed to wield them, I, Laviva, shall see to those matters. You saw there was no fear in my grandfather's eyes when the bandits took him. This is because he has seen you come to his rescue. Our lives were written in the stars long before we trod upon this land. It is not by chance that you stand here today with the soul of the Astrologian in your hand. It is fate. Awesome. Cool. So that's complete. So that's a nice introduction to the Astrologian. Now, every class in this game has got a story behind it. And every single story is worth watching, even if it's a crafting or even if it's a gathering class. Every single one has got a questline story that is worth reading, worth seeing. You shouldn't skip them. So let's click here, Astromacy. So Astrologians contribute to party battle by using cards known as Arcana to support allies. The 6 major Arcana include the Balance, the Bowl, the Spire, the Spear, the Arrow, and the Ewart. Ewart. The Arcana are used in conjunction with 4 different commands: Draw, Spread, Shuffle, and Royal Road. Use the Draw command to remove a random card from your deck. Use the command again to put the card into play. The Spread command can be used to add a card to your spread, allowing for later use. Use the command again to play the card. The Shuffle command is used when you wish to return a drawn card to your deck and draw another. Royal Road can be used while a card is drawn to alter its effect in one of 3 ways: enhanced potency, extended duration, or expanded range, depending on the type of card. Individual card effects are indicated in each card's help text. Choosing the right card for the right situation will be key to your success as a reader of the stars. Awesome. So, even if I'm going to be main tank in the expansion, I love healing as well. I will be everything. So anyway, let's equip the Star Globe. Let's wear the pieces of gear that we were just given. So this one and this one. So for all 3 of the new classes, you're given a chest piece and legs, as well as your first weapon. Obviously, as a master crafter, or let's say a former master crafter, I will craft all of her gear up until level 50. So again, let's add a new gear set. Astrologian, there we go. And let's put that there. Cool. So that's it. So anyway, guys, that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching. And as always, goodbye from me and goodbye from Mithrie.